Broadcasting live. It's America's longest running talk show on computers. It's Computer America, bringing you the biggest names in technology with guest interviews, new products, and your emails. Listen live at computeramerica.com on any device around the world. Email the show at live@computeramerica.com or find us on social media. Be sure to check out our website for contests, giveaways, show notes, live video stream, podcasts, and more. You're listening to Computer America.
Hello and welcome into the Computer America Show. We are the nation's longest running, nationally syndicated radio talk show on computers and technology. I hope all of you are having a wonderful day as we get things started here. And we, of course, well, today is going to be a very, very good day as we have a great company joining us for something that I think all of you, I think a lot of you are starting to dabble in, and that is smart home, or maybe at work you are dealing with more smart technology. And this company joining us here, they do just that, and they help set it up. They help do a lot of things, explain just what they do, how they do it. Hey, it's going to be a lot of fun. So let's see, and also be sure to stick around for the later part of the show where we will be having, computer technology. Where, for those of you who do not know, who are not in the know, well, CES 20 kicking off tomorrow, but a lot of people like to get out ahead of the crowds. Everyone is paying attention, but hey, they don't want to wait. So a lot of companies have already started to kind of exhibit and show exactly what they've got, and try to show off that they have the best products, yada yada yada. Essentially, today is pretty much the unofficial start of CES, so be sure to stick around and check that out. So before we get to our guests, a couple things to mention, including computeramerica.com. That's where you'll find everything, including the contest brought to you by Logitech. Enter for a chance to win that prize this Friday, and check out the live video feed where you can watch Computer America and not just listen. So with all that being said, why don't we just go ahead and get started, because there's so much today and looking forward. So joining us once again, company, hopefully I said this right, Axius, and joining us is the CEO of the company, Colin Barceloux. And yeah, Colin, can you hear me?
I can, yeah. I'm impressed. You said both the company name and my last name right.
Perfect. I strive.
That's not easy to do on the first try.
I strive for imperfection. That's what I do. So yeah, welcome onto the show. Happy to have you on. And I think a little bit of background would be the best place to start. How did you, kind of get started with Axius, and what is your background that led you to join the team?
Yeah, well, first off, thanks for having me. It's awesome to be here with you and your listeners. So I'm a serial entrepreneur. So quick background, this is my third startup. The first startup I did was in the e-commerce space, and we started a company called Book Renter, which was the first textbook rental service. And after that, my second company before Axius was called TechMate, and we built a service for tech support on demand. So that was kind of my first experience in the IT and computer world, and we were really the first company that was doing Uber for tech support.
Right. No, and I can see how that naturally led you into the current, your current company, Axius. Give a quick background of what Axius does.
Yeah. So, as you were saying earlier, we're in the smart home space. We really got excited about the space in Axius because as we looked at where technology is going in the landscape for consumers, we really feel the most technology is really going to be in your home. That's where we're going to see the highest concentration of IoT and tech in the next 5 to 10 years. And so we really wanted to concentrate our efforts in helping support people with their emerging smart homes. And so the kind of whole idea with Axius is that it's a service to help people manage and support all of their smart home devices. And what that means is as you look around your home today, you see a lot of technology, but it's not connected. It's not smart, right? Everything from your dishwasher to your dryer to your doorbell. But in the coming years, all that's going to get connected online, and all that's going to be a part of your home network. And so it's not crazy to say that in your home, you're going to have 40 to 50 connected devices as all this stuff becomes smart and becomes online. And it's actually really cool. We're talking the week of CES because we're going to see a lot of smart home technology this year. I mean, we've seen it every year, but this year more than ever. And so our feeling was to really help the average consumer, not the techies, right? The average homeowner manage all this technology. They're going to need help, right? They're going to need help just like they have a gardener or a plumber or a landscaper as part of their home services. They're going to need an IT company to help them with all this technology. And so that was the real genesis of Axius. And the idea is we want to make sure all your devices are safe, secure, and functioning. And if you have a problem, we have a help desk that can support you. And so we'll proactively monitor your devices and make sure they're working. And then, of course, at any time, if there's an issue, you can always call in and get support. So that was really the idea about the company. We started out at Stanford University. We were part of their accelerator program. So the company's about 1.5 years old. We launched in the fall. So we're really excited about the opportunities.
Right, and I think a good place, because you said a lot there, and we start breaking it down. Yeah, and I think one place we should start is, I think the smart home. You're right. I remember going to CES a couple of years ago and saying, hey, I've noticed, sensors are starting to be included into everything, from ceiling fans to dishwashers to thermostats. Sensors are everywhere. That's step one. Step two is getting them all to talk to each other, share the data that they're collecting. And
Right.
the smart home, I receive hundreds of emails a day for CES, and I can't tell you how many companies this year. I will say this is one of the first years that multiple companies are trying to show off their completely all-in-one connected home, everything talked together. And
Right.
kind of what you see at CES is what the consumer will see maybe later this year, maybe in a year or two. But
Right.
I think you're right. It's certainly coming. But my question to you is, for our listeners out there, for maybe homeowners or maybe renters, uh, is now the right time to care, or is this going to happen so gradually you don't have to worry?
It's a great question. I think timing is always the hardest thing to predict in any business. And there's been a lot of hype around smart homes and the timing of when they're actually really going to take off. I feel very confident because I think a lot of this is going to be dictated by the manufacturers, the people actually building all this technology. They're the ones that are really going to dictate how quickly the industry moves. And I think when we see at CES, we're going to see a rapid expansion because I think this is really the year all the manufacturers have bought in and have gone all out on their product roadmaps. And so now when you go to Best Buy or Home Depot or Lowe's in the next couple of years, very quickly your only option is going to be a smart device. It's kind of like what happened with TVs, right? Like all you can get is a 4K TV now. You can't go back and get a 1080p. And so I think that's what's going to happen with smart home technologies. It's going to happen a lot quicker than we think because very soon, I would say in the next 3 years, a lot of stuff when we go buy a device, the only option will be a smart one. So I think now is the time to really start thinking about it.
Right. And then that introduces your company where, because of the nature of the product, because talk to each other, it can talk to other things, it can essentially from anywhere. These kinds of in a lot of cases, positives can also be a detriment in terms. So let's talk about some of the major problems with smart homes, because every cybersecurity expert we've had on the show is just giddy for the fact that they get to come on and they get to say how unsafe all of this is starting to become, because security has not been a priority. So talk about security and.
Yeah, it's interesting. I don't want to throw a lot of stats at you. I'm sure a lot of other people on the show have. I mean, the one I will give you one which I was amazed about, which is a recent study by Business Insider that said 72% of all Americans are concerned about cybersecurity, which I think is important because it's got to get out of the experts and into the average consumers for this really to take hold and be impactful. And so I think it's good that finally the average homeowner is finally concerned about this, and it's not just something that IT and cybersecurity experts are talking about. So I think that's the good news, because a lot of this, honestly, you can build the best cybersecurity defenses, but if you don't educate the homeowners and you don't have good practices, all of it's meaningless. And so a lot of what we're doing is really meant to work with the homeowners and help teach them about things they should be doing in terms of cybersecurity. And that means simple things like changing your router password. You would be shocked how many of our customers never change their router password from the default one, from the manufacturer. So I think a lot of this is consumer education, and that's where it starts. So that's a lot of what we want to do in our company, is not just trying to build the best, greatest firewall or the best security product, but is really working with people and giving them best practices and teaching them around cybersecurity and how we can help them. So I think that's the biggest, where it really starts is the education piece.
Right. And trust me, we've been pushing that for a while now. To do so,
I'm
because
sure. Yeah.
the next part of what Axius does, but talk about setting up some of these smart devices and how that is something to overcome. Because, and I'll just say a personal quick, that's just yesterday I was replacing a light. I had a product. I'm not going to say the name because we're still reviewing it, but I plugged in a smart light bulb. And, it went great. I could start controlling it with my phone. The setup went fairly smooth. And then I, kind of, left alone, went and did my thing. And about 2 hours later, I came back and my smart light was a completely different color and I couldn't change it. And I was like, well, I guess my smart light is now that color. That's what I live with now. Even for someone, and I like to experiment and tinker, but at the same time, I kind of look at a smart light bulb that's not behaving. And I kind of go, well, it's not real. I'm not really going to worry about that right now. Talk about setup and what Axius can help people make the transition from to smart devices.
Yeah, that's such a great point, because what we find with our customers is setup is so essential, because if you can't help people in the first day or two set up the smart device, you lose them, right? And people give up, they return the product, and it's a major issue for retailers and manufacturers. So it really all starts with setup and making sure that's a good experience. So that's one thing we could do, is assist in that. So when things go, when your light bulb turned the wrong color, instead of just walking away, you could easily just give us a call or text or chat us, and we're able to walk you through fixing that quickly, so you have a good experience. So I think that in assisting consumers and homeowners in the setup is huge, because especially people that are just starting to dabble in it and get started, you want to make sure those first few days, few interactions go really well. So that's something we really focus on and support, is making sure it's set up right from the very beginning, so you don't give up, even if your light bulb's the wrong color.
Right. No, makes perfect sense. And and I apologize for not bringing this up earlier, but I'm seeing a lot of questions here about something called Akita. So again, your company is called Axius. Could you what Akita is that works into your company?
Yeah, absolutely. So when we started Axius, the number one concern by far, as we talked about, was cybersecurity. That was the number one thing we heard from people, more so than anything else. And so we partnered with a company out of Israel. So we're based in the heart of Silicon Valley, out of San Francisco. We partnered with a company called Akita. And Israel, as probably you and a lot of your listeners know, they're really known for the best cybersecurity experts all around the world. And so we partnered with them to launch this product on Kickstarter, which is it's kind of half smart firewall, half help desk. And it's a really great product. We've been working with them on it for a while. And the whole idea is that it plugs right into your router. And once it's plugged into your router, it scans all of your devices and constantly runs to make sure that you're not getting hacked, to make sure there's no security vulnerabilities, to make sure that you're not getting traffic from vulnerable IPs. And so we're really excited about that, and it's on Kickstarter right now, which hopefully a lot of your listeners have seen. And so it's a really exciting product, and we're really happy about it, because again, that was the number one thing we heard about, and we looked all over for a partner to launch this with, and we're really excited about the potentials with Akita.
Yeah, and I think I found it right here. So a couple days left to go. Yeah. You've blown right past your goal, and
yeah,
very impressive. So, and of course, we'll include a link to that in the show notes because, hey, but yeah, very, very cool that you can certainly. So let's see. We have here talking about some of the challenges because something with cybersecurity, I mean, beyond the trust issues you deservedly have, especially when it comes to like things like front door, security cameras, beyond just having to work around the fragile human trust relationship,
Right,
um,
right.
I can only imagine that there were other challenges, between let's face it, lots of other companies of that don't always communicate with one another when they develop standards. Talk about some of the challenges with developing something.
Yeah, so I think first and foremost, when we worked with our partners around Akita, the biggest thing was privacy. So it's an interesting trade-off that everyone wants, right? Everyone wants to have as much security as possible, but they don't want their privacy exposed. And so that was a really important thing for us to ensure that we could provide good security, but at the same time not violate any privacy of our customers. So we came up with something called deep pocket inspection, which is really cool because essentially we can look at the packets as they come in, but we don't need to store them at all. And so we're never storing anyone's data. It's never on any of our servers. We're never gonna have access to any devices. We're
Right.
just constantly monitoring it and really looking very deeply at the packets. So that was a challenge to do that because honestly, if that wasn't a concern for us, it would be a lot easier to build out the systems and build the product. But it was so essential to what we wanted to build that took a while to develop. So that's the first thing. I think the second challenge is exactly what you said. In the industry right now, there really are no common standards, and quite frankly, because of the time and cost to manufacture a lot of these products, security is not a top priority for manufacturers, and oftentimes it's kind of at the bottom of their list. So not only do you have different standards, but a lot of times you just don't have it as a priority, which creates vulnerabilities when these products are rolled out to the end consumer. So being able to have to look at all these different standards and all these protocols and of all these different devices was certainly a challenge too.
Right. And this is that's I've really noticed about this smart space that really needs to work is that when things come directly out of a box and uh, let's face it, a lot of it does come from China and their
Right.
security policy is pretty lackadaisical. I mean, heck,
Right.
they have standard passwords that are like one password, and they send out
Yep.
12 billion web, and
Yep.
like you said, people never change it. So
Never change it.
I guess something I really like about Axios that it's an ongoing basis, and it doesn't just stop after you unbox it. You do provide the support for people that have ongoing. I mean, how much of your business kind of see providing security on an ongoing basis, providing support? Is this something that people are just going to have to get used to? Something that only think is going to be like kind of niche? Uh, this ongoing basis that hey, you're not done after you.
Yeah, I think it's absolutely going to be on an ongoing basis, and as we become more dependent on all this technology in our homes, you're going to want that, right? Like people have AAA for your car, right? If something goes wrong with your car, you want to know you have someone to help you, right? If you get stuck, your engine breaks down, you run out of gas. You're going to want that for your home when you have all this technology in it. When you can't, your door lock breaks, when your dishwasher doesn't work, when their sprinklers won't go on. As we become more dependent on technology, it's great because there's so many benefits to it and it's going to improve our lives, but that also increases the risk of something going wrong. And so we really think people are going to want the similar type of service for their home. And I think it will just be a standard. It will be in the future in 5 years. The thought of having a support service for your smart home will just be like AAA for your car. And so I think this is going to be the new normal. We're obviously the first company to do it, so we're creating a whole space around it. But we really think this is going to be a standard place down the road. And the other point which is interesting is that I think really defines our partnership around Akita and the whole concept around Axius is that support is central, right? There's a ton of other firewall products out there. You go to CES or wherever and you'll see a ton of firewalls. But the problem is that it really requires the homeowner to do it themselves, right? They'll detect a problem and then it's up to you to fix it. And I think the difference with our approach is to say, yeah, we'll not only detect the problem, but we're going to give you a help desk and a team of IT professionals to assist you to fix it. And I think that's the big difference. Have you seen that LifeLock TV commercial about the bank monitor?
Yeah, I have, and we've had LifeLock on the show a number of times.
Cool.
But please, you're gonna make a point.
Yeah, I really like the commercial. They have the one about the banks getting robbed and the security guard's there, and he says, "I'm not a security guard. I'm a security monitor."
Right.
And I think it's a really funny commercial because I think the same thing happens with cybersecurity and IT is that you can do as much as you want to just monitor the problem and tell people, but if you don't fix it, who cares? And expecting the average people to fix these IT vulnerabilities, these breaches is tough when people can't even change the default password. Now you're expecting them to fix a breach when it happens on their network. I think that's very unlikely.
Right. Yeah. I mean, this is something. This is something that we talk about with a lot of other companies, that people who hire companies themselves, other providers, they aren't. They are not themselves, secure. They're bakers, handymen,
Absolutely.
painters. And security is a nuisance, not something that they enjoy and focus on. So I can see where, right? I mean, uh, yeah, very quickly. So,
Yeah.
and by the way, for anyone out there watching the video portion, we have Axius site. I really like, lately I've been companies with, the special domain name websites, axi.us. I definitely like that. But yeah, so I see here you have like 6 different services. Sure, they overlap in some manner, but if you could kind of
Right.
go through the different services you have.
Yeah, so the way that we are going to market and selling our service is partnering with a lot of different channels. So on our homepage, and thank you for that shout out, we have different partners we go to market with. And so right now in the smart home space, where we're seeing the highest concentration of devices per household is in new home construction. So this is where people are building a new condo, they're building a new home, high volume homes, whatever. We're seeing the most devices going per household in these new home construction projects. And so that's where we're first going to market. We're partnering with real estate developers, property managers, construction companies, anyone that really wants to get into building smart homes and smart buildings. We partner with them from the very beginning, and we work with them from not only figuring out what to put in there, but also where to buy it from, how to install it. And then ultimately, as we've been talking about, we'll also provide the end support to their new homeowners or tenants. So personally, we believe that's the most exciting area right now of smart homes is the new construction space. And I think over time we'll see remodels, retrofits, upgrades that will start to happen over time. But right now, the biggest movement is in new construction. So that's really where we're focusing in our go-to-market strategy.
Perfect sense. And trust me, I've been trying to throw as much smart technology
Yeah.
our home here, and it kind of works. Things like the Ring doorbell. Netgear has some cameras, like they kind of work, but when it comes down to pretty, I mean, like I kind of wish that the person who built the house I'm currently in 5 years house, but like he had wired home or like a whole home speaker slash intercom, and if he had just waited 5 years, Wi-Fi would have caught up and we
Right.
would have saved ourselves like a mile worth. I mean, you could probably speak this better than I could, but it's getting fit home. The new home space definitely getting in on the ground floor is good, but to adapt existing structures, getting easy, like less wires to run, easier in.
Yeah, totally. And I think that's going to be really exciting. The Wi-Fi capabilities are constantly improving. A lot of, and I'm sure you and your listeners know a lot about mesh and some of the capabilities we're seeing there, which has really exciting implications for smart home devices. So I think all that is positive, and I think all that lends itself to just seeing more and more devices going in over the next several years. You know, some studies say that by 2020 we're going to see a tripling of smart home devices, which is really exciting. But I think ultimately what this comes down to for consumers is cost, and that has been the big reason that's been preventing people before from getting smart home devices. And so I think as we see the cost drop, we'll see a ton more devices go into homes. And if you think about it, a new home is also appealing because if you want to put in a smart thermostat, for example, if it's a new home, you just have that cost of the new smart thermostat. But if it's an upgrade or retrofit, you already have that sunk cost in the old device, so it's a little harder for homeowners to justify. But I think that's going to change over time as cost does come down. We'll see a lot more devices go in as people retrofit and upgrade. And ultimately, I think with Wi-Fi, it's going to be a lot easier to do this because God knows no one loves crawling through the attic running Cat 5 cable for a smart home.
It can be a huge pain in the butt. But so you know, and getting back to your service here, because ongoing basis, I mean, I've gotten the idea that monthly expenditures are something that they kind of take. You know, start with Netflix. Beyond then, I think almost every a monthly type fee kind of system. Talk about what Akita and what Axius is going to, you know, maybe homeowners, like where you hope that the average consumer on your plans.
Yeah, so Akita is the device by itself right now is right on a Kickstarter for $89. And as you mentioned earlier, there's 4 days left in the campaign. The cost will probably double when we go live. So it's a huge savings to get it now while it's still on Kickstarter. So that's the one-time fee. And then if people want the help desk provided by my company Axius, it will be a monthly subscription. We haven't announced the price yet. It will probably be somewhere around $14.95 to $19.95. We're still trying to figure all that out, but that is optional, and it's in addition to what people are paying for the device.
I got you. Not too bad at all. So we only have like a minute or two here left, so I'll go ahead and let you kind of tell us where you see Axius next couple.
Well, I think there's 2 areas that we're really excited about. I think one is starting to move out of just the residential space and more into the commercial space. We think the smart home technology has a ton of applications for commercial, for offices, for buildings. So I think as we see more devices moving into those spaces, we want to support them. And we really want to be, wherever there's devices, connected devices, we want to be there to support the owners. So I think that's a very exciting space. And the other one we're looking into is energy management. I think the next step, once smart homes become connected and automated, the next natural evolution is to do more around energy management, energy savings. So we're looking at some solutions in that space as well.
And trust me, you're not alone there. And there's gonna be a lot of sensors. Like I remember,
Exactly.
like even a couple years ago, water management. So I think you're in the right space, and I think you certainly have positioned yourself at a good time because again, we're covering CES all, but you're going to have a lot of new toys to play with, I think, coming up here in the next couple months. So
we love that. The more IoT devices, the better for us.
Absolutely. And so, Colin, I will say thank you for joining us. And again, everyone, Axius, it is axi.us, a link in the notes at computeramerica.com. Front page for a whole week. And Colin, thank you for joining us. I know it's probably a busy time for you, but thank you so much.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure. Thank you.
All right, have a great one. And hey, we'll definitely catch up.
Thanks.
All right, bye-bye. So, everyone, there he goes. And the interview by Skype. So, now, the music means we're going to break as we get back and we talk about but a lot of it will have a bend. So we're just going to call it 20 FPS coverage. So everyone, stay tuned. More Computer America right after.
We are all Brother Wolf. 10 years ago, a group of locals banded together to create positive change. We took animals into our homes, held adoption events at local retailers, and talked to the community about our mission to help build a no-kill Asheville. A decade later, we have achieved so many victories for animals in need. There's been so much progress, yet there's still so much to do. As part of our year-long celebration, we encourage you to become a member of our special Compassionate Circle program. With a monthly donation of $10 or more, you will have behind-the-scenes access to the work we are doing at Brother Wolf. Our goal is to reach 1,000 members because we receive no government funding. Working together, we can help build and sustain no-kill communities. Learn more at compassionatecircle.bwar.org. We are a 501c3 tax-deductible organization.
There you go. So yeah, we just jump right into that computer and technology news brought to you by Fire Dragon Security. And yeah, get into the latest and greatest tech news. And folks, there's a lot of it, and unfortunately, a lot of it publications that provide the best story, poke around our own little twist to it. But yeah, a lot of what's today, I believe they get hours behind. Yeah, 3. It's probably 3. So it's still early, still like 1 p.m. So a lot of today are probably going to up tomorrow, but we have plenty about so far from yes. So I think a good place to start. Television, always a very popular topic when it yes, because they always show what's going big, or even maybe not even what is of new revolution, what is development, and well, let's just say that when it comes to size, Samsung may have taken the cake with this. So check this out: Samsung's the wall, and the title or name of the product is called the Wall TV, a monitor that uses micro LED. Now we have another term with and micro add on to LED, OLED, AMOLED, AMOLED. Yeah. So, anyways, this article goes from Ars Technica and Mr. Jeff Dunn, and noted that the LG 88 8K OLED that CES is a haven for, if not impressive, TV content. But Samsung is taking that experimental part where the creator dubbed the fall at the anti tech industry. So said that Samsung outs the wall is twice as big as using a module based design, though exactly how that will make itself. And a company representative said that the modules can be combined to increase the size of the overall TV. Size small. So, like it's probably blocks and some kind of fixes scaled down to whatever you want. So, they said that instead of using layer LED backlight And the LED backlight, like they found that micro LEDs up its inorganic. Yeah, of tiny LEDs. And Samsung claims tech allows the brightness much higher than, and that the micro LED generally said to offer a lower response and a longer lifespan than LED. So it's going to be good for that. And the problem has been reliably produced, but at least Samsung says it shows a highlight the. So here, wall probably isn't going to showcase television, but the well show you that micro LED tech available probably. So think jumbotron, large displays at yeah. So again, showing off crazy TV, where of course Samsung itself showed off 70, and the company a bit more about making the product though, tell an exact price or date for probably because they said it will make sizes when like really on if chance if it even market really have to watch out for that. But if it does, well, check it out. And that apart from the wall, Samsung teased QLED 8K that says it uses 8K AI tech buzzwords to upscale content to the high resolution. It also said standard 20 display the company. So 146-inch television, micro LED, and on top of that, the other offerings, 8K television with upscaling and so a voice control. Okay, so hey, that's what Samsung has to offer, and it's impressive. More so if we could, but I doubt that we have come close to having something like that in their home. So, why don't we go ahead and move to this one? So, all right, let's do. And there was one picked it out, and I decided that the other one, it's thing, and GoPro. They've been on the show before. I think brand name recognition, action. They are second to none. When thought of, let's say, someone surfing, skateboarding, any kind of sport, immediately associate that image with GoPro. Well, out that they did something, their drone division, and then bigger piece that I decided to do that GoPro putting itself up for sale, and they didn't price, they did not name any bidders, but they did, and they essentially put store and said, "Come on in, we're willing to," and that's where we're at right now. So this coming to us from Gadget, saying that GoPro is, and that the company believes is given list JP Morgan help with this. And so, yeah, for those who don't know, the first part of today's news cycle, GoPro, was that they cut 300 jobs, and they essentially, or at least they pulled out, sell the rest of their drop all development. Really surprised too many people. Actually, they actually have many they're saying what took them, they were offering drones, offering to the public, but they were offering way, way, way at a premium. They're offering them high premium compared to else. So that being said, they pulled out the drone, fired every division, and yeah, like GoPro and the drone. But what surprised even people that the action helped find fire, and that earlier in the day they said that they would look at opportunity night with a bigger, and at this time. So obviously GoPro is looking to sell their the action cam space. It's gotten crowded since GoPro essentially started. GoPro was one of the first that marketed. They had a lot of brand recognition. But since then, go on any of the other online sites, big box stores, GoPro is, and you can buy one. People certainly name, but there are other options, and that's protein. So said that they've reached out to comment, but have yet to hear back from GoPro. Any of the representative in the room. The company has several celebrated 15, 8, 20. But hey, company that makes profit, still pretty hard to come by. So despite the company's black, investors and its stock dropped around. Then its project has been closed, and the GoPro was forced to cut the price of its black camera sales. So there you have it. GoPro probably going to be acquired by one of the larger companies. I think exactly larger camera manufacturers recognition, but have less expensive, maybe even if they can take the name, tap them dollars more, they're definitely going. So GoPro is probably going to sell. And kind of what happens in not succeed overtly and sell. It does. There you have it. And GoPro going now. Let's see. So our next, and I love talking about processors. I saw essentially highlights of the well, you know, that's in of put out there. And folks, if there's one I definitely recommend so far, I know a couple hours, but you should definitely check out the where they showed off how far they've come in development, and Nvidia showed off very impressive. Well, it turns out they weren't the only. Kaby Lake failed, where it's Intel, AMD, Nvidia. So the new hybrid chip would offer a, and one of the more surprising products announced, Intel CPU with embedded AMD graphics and unusual collaboration with competitors. Specs not available. Clear that the company aim at. And by the way, again, not harp too much on Nvidia, but that's a pretty good enemy to take down. Nvidia's nigh on space. So, Soul is perhaps one of the ringly named products we've seen. The full branding is the 8th gen Intel Core processor, Radeon RX Vega and down. But the CPU part is a Kaby Lake R chip, and it's 4 core, 8 thread, and has a 7th generation where the CPU are paired with X Vega M, RX Vega M. So total, Intel is launching 5 variants of Kaby Lake and platform graphics indicated by the at the end of the chip. So 4 are i7 branded, the others are i5, and if you slow down a bit, but yeah, so some of the specs of this, you know, they look pretty good. I didn't think they were going to look this. You were looking at the top end here. Yeah, the i7 8809 boost frequency. So this is after overclocking and all that stuff. 4.2 gigahertz. Not bad. Again, not as good as, like, let's say CPU by itself, but they said with base frequency, again, for 8 core threads, 8 megabytes cache, blah, looks pretty darn good. Processors are a little bit low, and you know, it looks like they'll definitely have some, but this is probably going to be more of because this graphics are going to have drawbacks as compared to having a standalone graphics card. There are going to be drawbacks, but what you can say that you're going to get certain benefits, and as you can see, they say that one of them is that you get a little bit better graphics, and they put up a couple names, and these are compared to just one of their higher end processor graphics cards. And while it may not be that much better, I mean, 7% increase, 9% there, it's going to save you room, and it's going to save you power. And that, and when room, power, and also heat. So things will not be hot, they can run. And hey, it's just going to be efficient. These kind of little add up to be, well, very attractive when it, but I'm guessing it's going to be the mid gaming computer. So, computers that would normally have a graphics card, here they're going to have only processor built in graphics. Yeah, and again, they have more charts here. Definitely check out the, but the numbers they're putting out, but they are just going to show an alternative, having a processor and a graphics, and instead you get to mix the two, and you get to say, hey, decide to use us, and you'll electricity, battery will last long, everything will run just fine, and hey, see what happens. But certainly a very interesting processor come out from an Intel and AMD working. Take a swipe at see how it works, see what comes of it. But one of the first times we've seen like this. All right, so there's that one. How about we second sit back and that we are a cryptocurrency surge, and sometimes you hear about these coins, about of course Bitcoin, the original, how it's going up and down, but essentially it is steady as it, as kind of like the grandfather of currencies, and they kind of say that, hey, this one no concept and hold value, whereas you have other ones, Ethereum, Ripple, many other coins that are showing, hey, this is better technology. We're going to invest in these. They start taking off like crazy. Well, it's been one coin. Been around for very, very long time. And it just reached the zone, and we're looking at a billion. And you may remember Doge, a dead meme, dead joke. And Dogecoin itself was kind of a joke. Bitcoin. It was, even though it was and really a copycat of Bitcoin. But check this out. This one from our, and they said that nobody was supposed to take Dogecoin back in 20 guys created inspired by the Doge, making excited but ungrammatically decorative. You ever seen them? Yeah, you know. And they said that the price doesn't even matter, but the co-founder said that everyone assumed that people have some fun playing around. The currency value peaked at around 9 February. Right, this thing's been around for about 5 years. Pretty old in terms of cryptocurrency. So at the start of 20, the value of all Dogecoin circulation, where new features aren't being acted, or I'm sorry, development, and saying that eventually it will become dated, and with that, the network, and saying that, but cryptocurrency investors, memo, and as the general exploded in the summer and fall of Dogecoin went a long ride, where its value started rising by the end of the value of Dogecoin billion. Now you have it, according to Saturday, or this past Saturday, $1 billion. Someone put, not even someone, a group of people, brains, multiple, assuming intelligence, put a combined $1 billion additional dollars into this. Or again, because it started at $20 million, about $2 billion invested in Dogecoin. So since then, it has lost, fallen back, hasn't been actively, all kind of crazy. Saying it says a lot about the state of crypto space in general. Doggone, hasn't released a software update in over, and it now has billion. I think this is one of the best examples that I could probably point to, and I probably will, showing that the cryptocurrency is definitely, there's no way the cryptocurrency bubble when people are investing in it just because of buzzwords. You know, when the founded it, developer project says, hey, it's been 2 years, we have no interest, and they break in, there's no way around that bubble. And that's for Dogecoin. That's for something that was a joke. I remember people giving that thinking that's hilarious. And a joke just raised $1 billion. That is, look, cryptocurrency, if you're having fun with it, being a day trader or investing money, have fun. I will give some very rare financial advice on this show. Don't bet your house on it. Bet your house on cryptocurrency. This article right now, probably the number that investors are pumping, looking to make a quick buck, and if they don't, they will pull very quickly. They will leave. So right now, it's a hot topic, and there's a lot of money, fun to be. I don't want to say that anyone money off of it, but careful, because can only All right, there you go. And Dogecoin now just $1 billion. Oh, and let's see. Oh, and checking out what actually is now. And yep, market ridiculous. So, all right, we have time for just article. Again, we're gonna have more CES coverage, articles written, and we're gonna have on the show talking about what they at CES. But yeah, we have only. All right, how about this one? This one, gadget and where wireless charging. It's a that the Apple iPhone 10 recently, as well as had it for a couple iterations. But saying that phones, if not other devices, wireless charging, well, acceptable, more acceptable. And now, something just happened that maybe will help the space, and that's wireless charging near power mat speeds high. And Key has become the dominant wireless charger. And that was a quote by PowerMat. That PowerMat was the second to, and consumers have been living with wireless charging. And but those where PowerMat entered to join the wireless and now backs is saying that Key become the dominant and the Apple iPhone evidence of this success. Saying that we will innovations and will expedite wireless charging. So it sounds like a merger of a guys are doing better and really compete. Going to try to make the space better for everyone, and they're probably going to. So, PowerMat was barely hanging on at standard, but as it mentioned, Apple favoring upcoming date, and the company upgraded its charger Starbucks so that the Apple's iPhone 8 own it. So, like, even though they're making their own power mat, they still had to implement their competitor technology. That's when you know. Anyways, wireless power matters, and Key already the dominant player, and the first air fuel of which power mat. So, yep. But so at the end of the day comes the Key charging. So by joining WP further, it further unifies the wireless charging and the Key, which will accelerate wireless charging adoption. Wireless charging. So potentially in the next couple, you could see a situation where, where you could see a situation where if you see a power mat, then you don't have to worry if it will work or not. It just will. So you can check that out. And hey, you can check out more news stuff we didn't get to it all at computeramerica.com. Check it out. And hey, everyone, so much for joining. Happy to have you here. As we have on with us Avia speakers and Sproutbox design. So this is another company. Obviously, like we're talking audio tomorrow. And folks, until next time, thank you so much. And again, catch you here next time. Everyone, have a great one.